Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. WWE Battleground coming up this Sunday on pay-per-view on the WWE Network. I think everybody got their fulfillment of network plugs while watching the Monday Night Raw this week. I think everybody knows that you tune in on Sunday, they're going to have wrestling. Battleground. It's a show that basically debuted last year, and if it wasn't for the Rhodes family, Cody Rhodes and Goldust going up against the Shield, winning the WWE Tag Team Championships, as well as winning their jobs back with WWE, I don't think that a lot of people would remember anything that happened on Battleground last year. It was a show, I can't remember if it was in September or if it was in October, but it just sort of happened, and it was off to the next show, and it was something that barely anybody remembered. Battleground was moved to July this year to sort of separate Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. In my mind, I was really thinking that maybe they should have pulled the Battleground show, and they just sort of should have let Money in the Bank stand alone. That's a pay-per-view that a lot of people put a star on and saying, this is going to be a big show. And then you have some time to people digest, what's going on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and you get to SummerSlam. And then SummerSlam has a bigger feel because you hadn't just done a show. Some of the feuds that you've started to push big matches at SummerSlam get time to really digest, and people really want to get into seeing what's going down. In my mind, before looking at the card for today, I was really looking forward to seeing who was going to be, your WWE champion, of course, with the Fatal 4-Way going down. I really want to see Seth Rollins go up against Dean Ambrose. Except for that, I really wasn't looking forward to a whole lot of matches. I didn't even really know there was a lot of matches. But looking at the card to get ready to make this video today, I noticed that I believe there's 8 different matches on the card, and all of the matches are good matches that would be fun to watch. So I really have a little bit of higher hopes for this show. I think if you sit down with a clear conscience, we're going to have some fun watching some wrestling on Sunday. Everybody's going to be live tweeting what's going down. It's always fun that you don't have to call your local cable provider and fork up the $45 in order to watch this show. We're just going to sit down, turn on your Apple TVs or however you watch this, and just get down to watching some wrestling. Before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I was looking through some tweets. I just searched Money in the Bank, and there are still streaming sites that you can go to and stream the pay-per-view, which I thought was pretty funny because they all try to make a buck off WWE's pay-per-view, and I found one site saying that you could buy the premium stream for $5 in order to watch it. And I was just trying to think if somebody out there was trying to save a buck by ordering, I'll just pay for $5 to watch, Money in the Bank, and then I won't have to pay the $9.99 in order to watch it on the WWE Network. And I was just thinking, how much value these people could have got for that $5 with all the different shows that they've been putting on. Hell, that Monday Night Wars that was on last Monday, I would have paid $5 alone just to watch that. So I don't know. I don't want to be putting on a full-on commercial for the WWE Network, but if you don't have it by now, you need to get that. It's basically almost it's not officially available, but it's like if you want it, you can get it. I think I've said this in at least 100 videos. I don't know how people like in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Asia, I don't know how you guys get the pay-per-view if you don't get it. I know a lot of people over in the UK, they always used to get a lot of the pay-per-views for free. I think they only had 4 of them that were actually pay-per-views, but I've never even asked Canada how they get the shows these days, if they have to call. I should ask Justin or Ravi. I'll ask him within a minute. I'll try to get an update to in one of the videos down the road. But this one's gonna kick off. You got the Battleground Kickoff, which is I guess you can watch just about anywhere. WWE.com, WWE Network. You can watch it on YouTube, Facebook. They even have a Twitter logo there. I don't know how you can watch it on Twitter. I don't even really know what Pinterest is. I know my wife's looking at it most of the time when we're laying in bed. And I think it mostly has ideas on arts and crafts and baking stuff. So I don't know how WWE fits in on that, but it is what it is. But we got the breakup of the Funkadactyls. We got Cameron going up against Naomi. I think everybody's a little bit connected to these girls, and I'm not going to say heartbroken, but just has a big question mark on this match. Why are these girls fighting? We've been watching these girls on the WWE Total Divas show on Hollywood Network, whatever whatever it's called. And they've always been a team. You know, like we saw in one of the first episodes of Total Divas, these girls got in a fight because I think Naomi won a race, and Cameron felt like, you know, Naomi, you know, sort of rubbed it in her face, and I think Cameron even like pie-faced her. And you know, they got into it a little bit there, but they made up in the end, saying, you know, they were tag team partners, and you know, basically whenever one looked at one, they were always going to think of the other, and they had to have each other's back because you know, there's been a lot of times when Naomi thought that Cameron was up to no good, and she had to go talk to Cameron because she had to pull her down to earth and just basically saying, like, you know, we are the Funkadactyls. If you lose your job, you know, like, I'm going to lose my job. They don't need one Funkadactyl. They need both. You know, it's you know, both pieces of the puzzle that we complete each other. There was the time when Naomi got hurt before WrestleMania this year, and Cameron was having to go out there and do it on her own. And I don't know if that's where Cameron sort of builds up her sort of self-confidence in what she was doing. But you know, when Naomi came back from her injury, you know, there was a time when she was going to go after Paige's Divas Championship, and it was almost like, you know, Cameron is looked at as she's the heel of this situation, basically because she was sticking up for Naomi. She went up to Paige and called her out, saying that, you know, Naomi was going to beat her, and from there, it just turned around to Naomi saying that Cameron was going a little bit too far. And, you know, and now next thing you know, these girls are throwing blows on each other. I sort of thought that with the... I can't remember. When did Paige fight Naomi? I can't remember if it was at Money in the Bank. Yeah, because at Money in the Bank, and then AJ came back the next night. I was trying to think if it was Payback or not. I was trying to think how long these girls have been going at it. But basically, the pieces were put together that these girls were going to be feuding and throwing blows at each other and probably having a match somewhere down the road. And I was trying to think out, you know, was Battleground going to be sort of like a three-way with Paige and the Funkadactyls going at it, basically because it didn't make sense how the biggest part of the feud that was going on last month was that, you know, it seemed like everybody wanted to see Cameron versus Paige, and you know, where did Naomi fit into the puzzle if she was the #1 contender going in there? I didn't know if Cameron was going to jump in the ring and sort of cause a disqualification, and we all saw the match that happened, and the match was clean. Paige beat Naomi, and then Cameron got in the ring, picked her friend up, and just walked to the back. There was no dissension. There was no, you know, why did you get the shot when, you know, I should have got it? You know, you lost to her clean. I could have beat her. There was nothing. They just sort of ended it, and then the next night, AJ came out, so I said, well, more than likely, you know, with AJ coming back, and she's beat Paige, and now we have AJ versus Paige, which is going to go down to Battleground. I guess that the Funkadactyls breakup is no more. They don't need it. They're just going to, you know, you girls go over there and you dance, and you guys can have tag team matches against Alicia Fox and, I don't know, Layla, I guess. You know, we'll use you when we need you, but, you know, Brodus Clay doesn't have a job no more, so no more dancing the fat man down to the ring. So this is a weird one, but I guess they decided to go through with it. I guess just like the Summer Rae angle, which is going on with Fandango, I don't even think we're going to see, you know, what the main purpose of this angle is until, you know, we see Total Divas 6 months down the road. I'm going to say that, you know, I was going to pick Cameron to win this match, to springboard her up the WWE All roster. We already know that Naomi can wrestle. You know, she was, you know, penciled in to win the Divas Championship at WrestleMania this year, a lot of people say. So there's people in WWE that already do believe in her and think that she could be a great champion for the Diva division. But, you know, Cameron is somebody that people look at as just a pretty face, not really a real wrestler. She was barely a dancer at that. And, you know, where do we go from here? So I was thinking maybe you have Cameron win this match, and then Cameron goes out on main event tonight and loses to Emma in seconds. It doesn't make sense. I don't see you losing to Emma on main event and then going to Battleground and winning a match, even if it is in the kickoff. So I'm going to pick Naomi in this one. From here, we'll wrap this on up and we'll go on to the next match, and we'll see you in a second.